Hello, everyone. My name is Sophie, and I am so excited to share my favorite hobby with you today. This hobby has not only made me happy, but it has also helped me learn English. Can you guess what it is? Yes, it's reading books. I love reading because it is fun, exciting, and teaches me so many new things. But the best part? Reading helps me improve my English every single day. When I first started learning English, it was very hard for me. I didn't know many words, and I was shy about speaking. Then, I found out that reading books in English is like having a friendly teacher with me all the time. Today, I want to tell you why reading is so helpful for learning English and how it can help you too. Let's get started. Why reading is important. Reading is one of the best ways to learn a new language. Why? Because when we read, we see many new words, sentences, and grammar. It's like practicing English without feeling like you are studying. Reading is also enjoyable because we can choose books that we like. For example, I love books about adventures and fairy tales. Some of my favorites are Peter Pan and The Little Prince. These stories are magical and make me want to keep reading. The more I read, the better my English becomes. How reading helps me learn new words. One of the most amazing things about reading is that it helps me learn new words. Every time I open a book, I find words I don't know. At first, it was hard to understand these words. I had to use a dictionary to look them up. Slowly, I started to remember them. For example, when I read a story about a forest, I learned words like tree, river, flower, and mountain. Now, I see these words, and I know what they mean. Sometimes, I don't even need a dictionary. The story helps me understand the meaning of the words. For example, if a book says, "The boy was very sad and cried," I can guess that sad means unhappy. This way, I learn new words while enjoying the story. It's like playing a game where I discover something new every day. How reading improves my grammar. Another way reading helps me is by improving my grammar. Grammar can be tricky, but reading makes it easier to understand. When I read, I see how sentences are written. I learn where to place words like is, are, was, and were. I also see how verbs like run, walk, and play are used in sentences. For example, in one book I read, "The girl is running in the park. She runs every day." From these sentences, I learned the difference between is running and runs. Now, when I write or speak English, I remember these examples. Reading shows me how grammar works in real sentences. It's like seeing grammar rules come to life. How reading helps me pronounce words. Even though I don't always speak while reading, it still helps me with pronunciation. Here's how. When I read, I hear the words in my head. I try to imagine how they sound. Sometimes, I say the words out loud to practice. For example, when I read a book about animals, I saw the word elephant. I didn't know how to say it, so I listened to the word on my phone. Then I repeated it many times. Elephant, elephant, elephant. Now I can say it correctly. Reading helps me see words, and listening helps me pronounce them. Together, they make my English better. How reading makes me more confident. Before I started reading, I was shy about speaking English. I was afraid of making mistakes. But reading gave me confidence. When I read a book, I see how people talk in English. I learn phrases like, "How are you?" "What are you doing?" "Can I help you?" Now, I use these phrases when I talk to people. I feel more confident because I know I am saying the right words. One day, I met a new friend who speaks English. She asked me, "What do you like to do?" Because I read this question in a book before, I understood it. I answered, "I like reading books." She smiled, and we became friends. Reading gave me the courage to speak and make new friends. My favorite books for learning English. When I read, I choose books that are not too hard for me. If a book is too difficult, I feel frustrated. But if it is easy, I enjoy it more and learn faster. Here are some of my favorite types of books for learning English. Children's stories. Books like The Very Hungry Caterpillar and Goldilocks and The Three Bears are simple and fun. They also have pictures that help me understand the story. Short stories. Short stories are great because they are not too long. One of my favorite short stories is The Lion and the Mouse. It's easy to read and has a good lesson. Comics. Comics like Peanuts or Garfield are funny and have simple English. The pictures make the meaning clear and help me enjoy reading even more. Fairy tales. Fairy tales like Cinderella and Snow White are magical and easy to understand. They also have happy endings, which I love. These books make learning English fun and exciting. How I practice reading every day. Reading has become a part of my daily routine. Here's how I practice every day. Read for 30 minutes. After school, I spend 30 minutes reading in English. If I find a word I don't know, I write it in my notebook. Later, I look it up in a dictionary. Reread my favorite books. I like to read my favorite books again and again. Each time, I understand more and learn new things. Read out loud. Sometimes I read out loud. This helps me practice speaking and pronunciation. Ask for help. If I don't understand something, I ask my teacher or a friend to explain it to me. These small steps help me improve a little bit every day. Why I recommend reading. I think everyone who wants to learn English should try reading. It doesn't matter if you are a beginner. Start with easy books and take your time. Learning is like a journey. Every book you read is like taking a step forward. Reading makes learning fun. It's like playing a game where you discover new words, ideas, and adventures. It also helps you feel more confident when speaking and writing. Conclusion. Reading is my favorite hobby because it helps me learn English in a fun and easy way. It teaches me new words, grammar, and how to speak confidently. It also takes me on amazing adventures to magical places. If you want to learn English, I hope you try reading too. Remember, every book is like a door to a new world. All you have to do is open it. Thank you for listening to my story. If you enjoyed it, I hope you read more and keep learning English.